What up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Full Metal Analysis. I'm your boy Bruce Diggy. Got my co-host MJ Detroit. You know what it is, man. We finally got a week where it's not a victory week, man, and it's all over, man. Throw the whole season away. We done. We had a good run. 11 wins in a row. You know what I'm saying? But throw the rest of it away, man. It's all down here from here.
Bruce.
But no, yeah.
Why do you hate the Lions?
No, man, but for real, man, like that's all I've been hearing, man. Like we lost one game, and everybody is from national media to half of the Detroit fan base is like the season is over. We can't win anymore. I mean, and I have my feelings about this last game, mainly because we've got like I think it's 21 players on IR now. We got a lot of players hurt. David Montgomery just went down in this last game. Lane McNeil went down. We lost Carlton Davis. I mean, essentially, we got more guys on IR than we do on defense. So I understand everybody's I understand everybody getting down on the season, but at the same time, man, we still won 11 games. We lost to essentially like the other top 3 team in the league, and we put up 42 points. So even though we're down a few guys, like to your point a couple of episodes ago, we're still pretty deep, and even though it's gonna be like before, my thoughts on Super Bowl was, yeah, we for sure gonna win the Super Bowl, and now I'm at a point where like I don't think it's over with. I think we can still do it, but it's gonna be harder.
I think that it is definitely going to be harder. The thing is, I still, even with all the injuries and where we at, I still don't fear any. Well, those damn Rams, man. I tell you, if we gotta play the Rams again in the playoffs, oh man, I'm not gonna like that. But the Eagles are the only team that for the Lions that I fear in the NFC. So if you're telling me that the NFC is still what it is, en route to getting to Philadelphia, we would have to go through Minnesota again, and that game just got a whole lot more intimidating in my mind. The Vikings destroyed the Bears last night. That didn't mean a whole lot, but the fact that the Vikings are fully healthy for the most part, and we are, man, we are so hurt, man. Like before this game, with all the injuries, all the way up until yesterday, the injuries I could get down with them in the sense that hey, we got to the NFC Championship last year with no defense, right? But that kind of went out the window because we did have Anzalone, we did have Barnes, we did have Rodriguez, we did have Hutchinson. The only difference was our secondary. Now we about to roll through the rest of the season with the same secondary that got. Well, no, we didn't have Terrion Arnold, so we're replacing Cam Sutton with Terrion Arnold, and we rolling in with the same defensive backfield that we had on that run, minus the Anzalones, minus the Hutchins, minus the Barnes. So
minus the McNeils.
So we can still, but at the same time, the blueprint to get into the Super Bowl was always going to be just that's the blueprint of every team. But the blueprint was going to be to put more points on the board than the other team. With our offense, to be more specific, our offense is going to have to carry us. And no matter how many injuries, we talked about it. No matter how many injuries we asked, we talked about it. How many injuries can we take before we feel like this team is going to start suffering? And I think my answer was as long as the offense stay intact, because that's the bread and butter of this team. So with David Montgomery going down, oh, that was a blow. That was a blow. That hurt. That hurt me. That hurt me more than Hutch probably, maybe because of where we at and the time he played. But but yeah, man. I mean, yeah, I'm with you. It's still possible, but we got to get through Minnesota, and we'd have to get through Philadelphia, and then whoever's going to be standing there at the finish line waiting on us.
Yeah, man, and I understand, man, and the the guys that we brought in to replace these guys are, I mean, to be honest, they older guys. The two guys we brought in last week are older guys, uh, and a lot of guys that you've never heard of before. But essentially, man, the guys that I've seen out there, they like Dan Campbell has been saying, man, they come out, they do play hard. Um, you're not gonna get the performance you would get out of the guys that are on IR when when it comes to the teams like Buffalo and Baltimore and Kansas City. But they are sustainable guys, man. All we need them to do is to be able to hold it down and make key stops. I don't even need y'all to be the defense that was holding uh defenses under 21 points and holding people from scoring a touchdown for 10 quarters. I just need y'all to be a defense that's good enough to play stop people in key moments. And if you can do that, then I still see a path to the thing. As far as David Montgomery goes, that is really that is a really hurtful blow. But at the same time, we got Jahmyr Gibbs, and I think Jahmyr Gibbs can hold it down. And when he needs a break, we still got Craig Reynolds and Sione Vaki to give him a breather. So, I mean, it is a blow, but it's still sustainable. And essentially, our offense is still intact. When David Montgomery went down last year, Jahmyr Gibbs held it down. And, you know what I'm saying? We're just going to need him to step up and do that again this year. So, I feel like there's still a path, man.
Yeah, the thing with the defense is, you know, so let's take Buffalo as a prime example, because we even kind of brought them up a couple weeks ago, where I told you I heard somebody on the radio call in and say that the Lions essentially haven't played anybody, and we got into a debate on who quote unquote is anybody, or what makes somebody somebody. But the thing is, the Buffalo Bills, like you said, are a top three team in this league. And so we finally got to see them go against the top three team and an elite quarterback. And, there's no surprise that Josh Allen looked great, because Josh Allen, he tends to do that against NFL football teams, is look great. So that was no surprise there. But I think what surprised me the most was how easily they ran the ball, and it didn't matter if it was Josh Allen, didn't matter if it was James Cook, didn't matter if it was Ray Davis, whoever they handed the ball off to. It was like it honestly. It looked like that San Francisco game where it was just snow and nobody could get their footing, and nobody wanted to really make a tackle. That's what it looked like, but it wasn't. It was in a dome at Ford Field, this Lions defense that's impressed me with their run defense all season long, and they was just letting Buffalo run all over them. And that's the whole passing game. That's a whole different story. But the simplest thing that I feel like Dan Campbell hangs his hat on was that the defense was swarming to the ball. And if you go back and watch any game leading up into this game, the defense was swarming to the ball. But ironically, it was Terry Arnold. I don't mean to single him out, but it was one play where somebody got stacked up in the backfield and my man couldn't bring him all the way down. And then Terrion was standing there watching it happen. And then finally, once my man started to kind of get a little free, that's when Terrion reacted. But I feel like in weeks prior, man, it wasn't no hesitation. Everybody was swarming to the ball. And I kind of feel like we lost that in that Buffalo game. Now, I'm not saying they can't reconnect with that type of energy, but you bringing in new people and the new personnel, and you trying to get them on board the program, and I don't know how long that's going to take, how quickly that's going to happen, or if it even is going to happen.
So, speaking of the Buffalo game, man. Okay, so after the game, this is where I'm at with it. Dan Campbell essentially said it. He said, "I didn't have the team prepared." And it essentially goes to what we were talking about with the team's personality and how aggressive they are. And they, to me, to your point, they didn't come out the aggressive team that they always are. I mean, on offense they did, of course, but on defense they didn't come out the aggressive team they are. On defense they didn't come out the aggressive team that they always are. They, instead of, so last year and the year before that, we've always had problems with running quarterbacks, and that was essentially our kryptonite. And whenever we came up against a running quarterback, we kind of played this defense where we didn't attack the quarterback, but we tried to contain the quarterback. And I felt like this year we kind of got away from that. But until this game, it seems like the game plan was to essentially not attack Josh Allen, but to keep him in the pocket so that he didn't break the contain. And he no. And then when we did rush him, he would just break contain anyway and find some guy running down the field and hit him. So I mean, I just felt like we were playing timid. The players out there looked scared. They looked like damn, Josh Allen. Like for instance, I seen one play where Josh Allen was running up the middle. The middle linebacker had him. All he had to do was run up and tackle him, so he wouldn't get the first down. But he was kind of hesitant because he didn't want Josh Allen to throw the ball over his head. So he waited till after Josh Allen ran past the first down marker to tackle him. And I mean, of course, when he got to the sideline, Shepard, the linebacker coach, cussed him out. But it's like all the players were playing like that. They were playing hesitant, contained football instead of attacking. And I think that was the main problem with the defense in this game.
No, I love that you brought that up, man, because as much as I love Dan Campbell, there are some things that it's not a whole lot, but that his philosophy on mobile quarterbacks is something that I'll probably never agree with, because when I hear him talk about it, when I hear anybody talk about anything, if somebody tells me, yeah, you just got to do everything and you'll be fine, it's like, I understand that if you do everything, you'll be fine, but is that realistic? Like, is it realistic for you to be able to stop a quarterback from throwing for 300 yards, at the same time hold them from rushing the ball for under 50 yards, and at the same time, yeah, you would love to completely shut down Josh Allen, but realistically, you're not going to be able to, and that's where I'm in the mindset that you got to give something in order to get something. So if I got to give up him trying to scramble, then I'm gonna have to live with that, and I'm gonna have to try to make a play on after that, and hopefully that my lineman can make a play and don't even allow him to get out. Hey, that's what I'll live with. But if I'm gonna try to stop the run and I'm gonna try to stop the pass at the same time, like it's just too many factors in my mind, in the whole surround them but don't attack them. And like you said, it didn't really seem like they were doing that a whole lot this season until this game. And Lomas Brown brought it up during the game. He, basically how they were getting no pressure on Josh Allen. I feel like Josh Allen had 10 seconds on one play where he was just,
Yeah.
no, he was going for a walk. He was just going for a walk right towards the sideline. Like, yeah, hey, you. Okay, all right, man. All right, let me get rid of it. So that was the one thing, and then the other thing, man, is something I joked about. I was looking at the stats right here. I forgot Sam Martin. We had Sam Martin. We used to play for. Got drafted by the Lions. Had a great start with the Lions. Um, but uh, but but Ty Johnson, man, I joked about the Ty Johnson revenge game, and Ty Johnson was unstoppable in the first half. He had damn near 100 yards receiving in the first half. And no disrespect to Ty Johnson, who is finally, this is probably the best football he's played of his career, but we are going to play running backs better than Ty Johnson, and I don't think Buffalo's doing anything insane to get him open like that. They was just he had one-on-one coverage with a linebacker, and they was exploiting that every opportunity that they had. So I don't see why Aaron Jones. I don't see why they can't get Aaron Jones out the backfield. Whoever San Francisco tries out there running back, why they can't get him out the backfield. So it's I don't know, man. This defense got me worried.
So I would say that the initial problem with that would be, like you said earlier, we got new guys in there. Like essentially all our linebackers are fourth string guys. I mean, except for Jack Campbell. Except for Jack Campbell, who's not good at covering. All our guys are essentially fourth string guys. And so those plays where Ty Johnson was getting all those yards were essentially plays where Josh Allen rolled out of the pocket and the play kind of broke down and became an extended play. And Ty Johnson would just run to an open spot in the field once the play broke down. And Josh Allen would find him and check down and throw the ball upfield. And then he got a lot of yards off of that. So to my point earlier, I would hope that the coaches saw what was going on and will be better prepared next time we run into because essentially when we run into the Vikings, Sam Darnold is not going to be Josh Allen out there. You know what I'm saying? Caleb Williams probably run around, but he's not going to make a dot throw like Josh Allen was out there making it. So essentially, until we run into another elite quarterback, I'm not as worried about it. And even when we do, like I said, I will hope the coaches will be more prepared for a situation like that. But at the end of the day, our defense is going to take some hits from now. So what we essentially will need to do is we need our offense to step up the game. I would like to see Sam Laporta a little bit more active now in the offense. Like I said, Jahmyr Gibbs is going to have to step up his game. St. Brown, man, had one of the best games. I think the best game of his career. But we can't afford fumbles. We can't afford that turnover. We can't afford the drop ball that he had that would essentially would have led us onto a scoring drive at the end of that half. We can't have JMO dropping balls. We can't have Sam Laporta dropping balls. All those drops in that game where we couldn't make mistakes against an elite team, like were all key factors in us losing that game. And We just got to be on point more moving forward, man.
Yeah, the people I was watching the game with, we was talking, and well, during that game, my homeboy he brought up the Houston game and how we was down in that game. And I was like, man, that game, I always felt that whole game that we had a chance to win. Like even after the third interception, like I still felt like we had a chance to win because honestly, the only thing we were doing bad was not taking care of the ball. Like that was it. The defense was playing great that game. Houston was not playing great. They had their injuries at the time, and they came back and won that game. But that Buffalo game, I never felt like that. Like from the jump, already going into the game, I said I thought that Buffalo was going to win the game, and then sitting there, we was talking, and I was like, you know what, but I don't know, man. I don't know why. I was like, you know what, if Jared Goff comes out and he does the vintage Jared Goff 6 for 6, 7 for 7, 8 for 8. I was like, I'll feel a lot better about this game. And, and ironically, his first pass, he threw it into the ground. And we laughed about that. But I mean, that's kind of how it was, man. Like, yeah, they offense. It's not even that the offense played bad. The offense was fine. It was 42 points is more than enough points to win the game. Goff thrown for 5 touchdowns is more than enough touchdowns to win the game. St. Brown, that was the second most receiving yards he's had in his career in a game. Maybe you would like to see more from J-Mo, but Laporta got you 100 yards. It was yards and touchdowns all around. Skipper caught a touchdown. I mean, it was the offense was fine. The only thing is they just did not come out the gates swinging. It was a slow start, and Buffalo just came out, and once they took a lead, Buffalo never felt like they was in any jeopardy of losing the lead. They were, even Jake Bates missed a field goal. So it was a lot of miscues, but the Lions were in a position that they haven't been in, a whole lot this year. It was they're not used to having the trail catch up, and essentially look like the lesser team on the field. So that was my takeaway from the game.
Yeah, man. I feel like we had a good bad game, man. Like what we did on the field was enough to beat any other team. Like like any other team, we would have won that game, and we had a chance to win this game, but it was just the miscues on our part. Like Buffalo played a flawless game, but like I mentioned, even though Saint had an amazing game, he had some drops. Golf had an amazing game, but our offensive line played bad. Frank Ragnow got pancaked by Ed Oliver was whooping that nigga ass all game long, man. Um, like our offensive line felt like they were struggling. We couldn't get the running game going. I mean, even though it turns out it's probably because he was hurt, but David Montgomery only had 4 yards. I think Gibbs only had 40 yards rushing. I mean, he had a lot more in the passing game, but I think he only had 40 yards rushing. Our like I said, not only did Saint have a drop, but J-Mo had a drop. I think Laporta had one drop. It's just like we played a good game, man, and in any other game we could have made those mistakes and got away with it. But when you're playing the elite teams, you got to play a flawless game, and I feel like Buffalo played a flawless game, and we didn't. Not to mention that our defense wasn't prepared. So it just essentially. So I say all that to say every game is not going to be Buffalo, but by the time we do play another elite team, speaking of the Philadelphias, the Kansas Cities, the Baltimores, Buffalo, essentially, we need to be more prepared and we need to be better prepared for those games. So I feel like we still have a shot at winning those games, but when it comes to those games, we have to play a flawless game.
Yeah, man. The last thing I got is, I was listening to 97.1, and last week I don't even think it was this game. I think it was the Packers game. But people called in and they said, like if they lose to the Packers, that's not the worst thing in the world. They kind of need to lose a game here or there before they get to the playoffs and da 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 da. And like, just I mean, all the hosts, man, would just kill anybody who called in with that. And I mean, I understand the idea of saying, "Oh, you need to lose a game," sounds crazy, but like if you think about it a little bit deeper, I didn't think it was that crazy. And if you heard the Dan Campbell interview this morning, obviously Dan Campbell didn't want to lose the game, but he said that, hey, maybe this is exactly what we need. Because to your point, in order to play a flawless game, it's hard. I think I would say it's hard to play a flawless game if you win, you know, 12, 11 straight games in a row. You can only, this is my personal feeling, but you can only manufacture a chip, so much. Like, like for 11 straight games, you've had to manufacture a reason to get your team up. Like we don't want 11 straight games. Like it's only natural to let up. And you try to manufacture like, well, this is the Buffalo Bills. They got the MVP. We got the MVP. You try to do something like that maybe, but but Buffalo really did just lose last week, like on some BS. Like Josh Allen came out there and threw 6 touchdowns, and they still lost, like to the LA Rams. So, that's real. That's a real chip. Like it's not manufactured. That's real. They just tasted, a loss, and
Right.
we gotta manufacture that taste. So now, yeah, they came out here and had it just been a loss, then I would be just fine with it. But yeah, all the injuries on top piled on top of it. It's just a rough recipe, but we'll see how it works out.
Yeah, man. The last thing I guess we got to get to it before it's all said and done. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on it, but the last in this last game, Dan Campbell decided to kick onside kick with 12 minutes left on the clock. Um, I didn't think it was a good idea. I'm usually with the Dan Gamble. I'm all for it. I didn't think it was a good idea. I understand why he did it. Essentially, we were running out of time. He wanted to steal a possession, and he wasn't sure if we kicked the ball off that we would have time to, make enough stops and score enough points. Essentially, because your defense wasn't making any stops all game. But I just wasn't. I just not sure if that was the moment for it. And like, while I am okay with gambling for games, usually when he takes a gamble, he's gambling for the win. Like I'm not mad at Adam for gambling. Like essentially most of the time you're going for the win, and the odds of it on fourth down are astronomically way better of winning that than it is for an onside kick. An onside kick is maybe the lowest rated thing that you can take a chance on in the NFL and win that. And essentially, I'm sure he didn't think that my man was going to tip it to himself and run all the way down to the 5 yard line. But you know what I'm saying? So when he said it, I was like, all right, you know what I'm saying? I don't agree with it, but it happened. And then the worst outcome came out of it. But I mean, I don't agree with it, but I'm not. That's Dan Campbell's personality. I don't agree with it, but I can understand.
This might come as a surprise to you, but I felt really no. I was totally indifferent on it. And I think you explained it I think you explained it for me when you in your explanation, which is when Dan Campbell, or I should put it like this: the times that I do have a problem with Dan Campbell gambling is, like you said, when he's gambling to win, because I feel like why are you gambling to win? Because you're already winning. So just play it straight and you'll more than likely win anyway. There's no need to gamble because when you gamble, you are also, that's by definition, you are giving the other team a chance to win just as much as you are giving yourself a chance to win. So that's why I hate that. But this was this was full anime. We are about to lose. We got nothing left. And I got this one secret move that never worked. And if by chance it worked this time, it would give us hope. And everybody looked at each other and was like, let's do it. And unlike anime, the shit did not work at all. It did not work. It backfired. The threat was there for backfiring. Like you said, it backfired to the fullest. I guess he could have ran it in for a touchdown. So it fell one step short of backfiring to the fullest. But no, I had no problem with it. Matter of fact, in that same interview that he did this morning on 97.1, they asked him about that, and he said, like, yeah, you don't factor in the idea that they take it all the way back to the to the 5-10 yard line. That didn't factor into his decision making. And then they asked him, like, why didn't you just do it? Why didn't you double down? Why didn't you do it on the next time? And he was like, looking back on it, I kind of should have. And I kind of agree with that too. Like, hey, because like we said, man, your defense, it didn't matter where Buffalo got the ball at. That defense had no chance of stopping Josh Allen. So, yeah, at that point, he's done things like that in games where I felt like the defense was a lot better, and he's done way more gambles with putting the ball in the offense's hands than he did in a time where I felt like he needed to put the ball in the offense's hands the most because that was the only thing that was working. And even that was a little shaky, but it was working, and it was way better than the defense. So this game, I had no problem with whatever he felt like he had to do, I was with him because that defense wasn't doing anything out there.
Yeah, man.